Hey, this your girl, msyelladiva. I'm bringing you this is the last episode of Belle Collective Birmingham Season 1, Episode 8, The Reunion. Okay. If you are new, y'all, welcome. We do reviews here, and this is the Diva Nation. And if you're returning, welcome back. All right, now, give me a thumbs up. Like and share and comment and subscribe to my channel, and we will begin, y'all. All right. So, we're going to go over some of these dresses and, All right. So, we're going to go with Kayla. Kayla, I like the dress. It was very beautiful on you, except for when you sat and your neck looked like you had fat meat right here because it was tight right here because they had that little net, clear net, and it looked like, you had some fat meat right here. Other than that, the dress is beautiful. When you stand up, it's beautiful. Now, your hair, I did not like. Your makeup made you look like a clown. Okay, but other than that, we are okay with the dress. Okay, we are okay with the dress. The hair and makeup I did not like. Fumi's dress was beautiful, but it was busy. Okay, it had these little chandelier pieces right here. Had some net, had a big ass flower right here, and then he had different colors down here, and it was brown. It wasn't. It was busy. I didn't care for it. A lot of people loved it. I didn't care for it. Okay, it had them little chandelier pieces right here. It was not cute at all. Okay, it was just too busy. But the hair and makeup was stunning. Okay, hair and makeup was stunning. Go Fumi. Okay. Stormy, I like the hair. I like that little bob. That was cute. I like the makeup. That was great too. I love the dress when you were sitting down, but when you was standing up and you got them boy shorts up under there, that wasn't cute. I ain't like that at all. Them little shorts or whatever, you little pieces that you had up under under that silhouette down there, that wasn't cute. I ain't like that. But when you sat down, it was beautiful. Okay, it was beautiful. It was perfect as far as, contour of your body. Got that little mermaid look. It was cute, but some about them little boy shorts messed me up. Tiffany did not like the hair. I don't know who you got somebody to do your hair. That wasn't cute. The makeup and the dress was okay though. Okay, it was okay. It wasn't like stunning. It was okay. It covered up your little trach scar. It did cover that up. Okay, that was nice. Okay, but the makeup, it was cute. I mean, it wasn't like Kayla's. I'll tell you that. Amber hair and makeup was on point. The bob was on point. Plus the little jumpsuit was on point too. Kudos for you. Let me give you some claps on that. Kudos for you. Okay, the bob, the makeup, and the jumpsuit was on point. And I don't know where the hell Sonetta is. I guess Sonetta was a friend of the show, even though she was in goddamn every episode. Okay, you should have just put her in there. And once she at the end too, in the picture, where the hell was Sonetta? Where the hell was her? I know she wasn't a friend of the show for real though. You could have brought her out anyway, because I'm quite sure she would have stunned on all these hoes. Okay, because Sonetta is just like that. So I don't know. Anyway, let's go to the reunion. So Carlos going over all the history of Birmingham, all the civil rights stuff and everything like that. Tiffany makes a comment about the fashions in Birmingham. She said influencers try to outdo each other. So Fumi took a little backlash on that. Okay, she kind of got a little attitude because she felt like Tiffany was coming for her for that, with that comment talking about influencers try to um outdo each other. Fumi said, I'm not trying to compete with anybody, okay? Now, mind you, she ain't never said it was Fumi, okay? She ain't never mentioned Fumi. But Fumi took a little offense to that. She said, so Fumi was like, I'm not trying to compete with anybody. And then Tiffany was like, if the shoe fit, wear it. Because, hit dog or holler, okay? So, Fumi, you ain't even have to say nothing. Because you should have been like, shit, you ain't talking about me. You ain't talking about me. I don't compete with anybody, so you ain't talking about me. So you could have kept your mouth shut. But a hit dog or holler, Fumi. I love you, girl, but a hit dog or holler. And she said if you fit, wear it. Then she said, I may not be your favorite, Belle, but I am the realest. Tiffany, no, you're not the realest. But Fumi said you are not my favorite, Belle, or the realest, okay? Okay? You are not my favorite, Belle, or the realest, okay? And I concur with that, Fumi. She is not my favorite, Belle, and she is not the realest as well. I agree with that totally. So, I was like, Tiffany, you ain't the realest. Stop it. Stop it. Okay? Stop it. Your little church girl act. Stop it. Anyway, so to let the church say amen. Speaking of church, okay? Let the church say amen. Where's my heavenly music? Don't start none, won't be none. There it is. My heavenly music, okay? So anyway, so Stormy goes over her 54-hour live. And so we gonna give her a yay on that. Good for her. Tiffany said, Tiffany mentioned that Stormy was getting free labor off of the Bells. And so Kayla said we were only there for about 5 minutes anyway. She was like, so we didn't expect to get paid. Second of all, she said Stormy did pay me when we had a photo shoot, and she did pay me, and she paid me well. I know that's right. Cha-ching. Okay. She paid me well. Okay. So Tiffany was like, well, Kayla, you got a habit of lying and forgetting. Boo Tiffany, okay? Boo tomato. Stop. Yeah, stop. You just want to be the villain. You just want to be the villain so they can bring you back. It's fine. It's fine. You can get a season 2. It's fine. You still ain't gonna get no more babies. Stop. I'm stop. Let me go. Oh, okay. So Amber said, friends, they don't expect to get paid, So she said, so they're friends and stuff, so they don't expect to get paid. And then Tiffany was like, so they close like that? She said, didn't they just meet each other? You are correct. They probably did just meet each other. What the fuck does that make? What the fuck difference does that make? Okay. They still on the same fucking show. They still on the same damn show. Okay. Golly. I said, girl, just say You were left out. And you know why you were left out? Because this shit right here. This shit right here. Stormy didn't want none of this energy on her set. I don't blame Stormy. She didn't want none of this energy on her set. So that's why you were left out. I don't blame her. Because you was gonna turn into some bullshit, and she was there to make money. I don't blame you, Stormy, because if this is what you was gonna get, you leave her ass at home, and that's why she went to that raggedy ass trip to Atlanta to get some food, which ain't no good food in Atlanta. And she said her husband paying for it, as he should. Okay, he invited you as he should. Okay. Stormy said, "Just say you hating, and you wish you could have been there." I agree with that, cause she was like, "Didn't you just meet them?" That don't mean shit. You still on the same show. You still a damn Belle. Shit. Don't be mad. Be glad. Don't be mad. Be glad, girl. Just say you hating. And you wish you could be there, okay? Because Martell was there. Martell was there. Shit. And who else? Who else was there? Jason was there. Shit. So you wish you could have been there. Okay. Them 52 hours. So Amber got 23 eggs. Alright. So they are in storage. But she don't know about a man coming in and wrecking her happy life. Okay. Because she said she happily single. Girl, listen. You have to get a man and not a male. But men are hard to come by. And what I mean is a man versus a male is Dondre Whitfield. Shout out to Dondre Whitfield. This is what he says about a man, males versus men. Males look to be served. Men look to be of service. Okay? Of service. Males look to be served. And men look to be of service. Okay? So 95% out there are males. I'm sorry. Boo, tomato, tomato. Okay. So she gonna have to look real hard to find a man from all of these males. Okay. So hopefully she can find a man and procreate and get your eggs and in vitro fertilization and all that other stuff. But if she can't, go to the sperm bank, baby, and do your thing, okay? Because they are slim pickings, okay, out here, okay? I'm just letting you know. From I'm your auntie. I'm letting you know. Okay. Anyway, Fumi said they didn't put an offer on that ugly ass, raggedy ass, stank ass house. That dated ass house. Okay. That house was ugly. Ugly. There was no redeeming that. They would have to come in there and overhaul the whole house, because that stuff was everything in there was dated. They would have to redo that whole house, and it's $2.3 million. You better get it to the ones, because you got to put a good 100,000 to 200,000 in there to renovate it. Ugly ass house, but they ain't put no offer on that house anyway. They put an offer on some other house, and it didn't go through. Fumi said she don't pay any bills in the house. Sam gives her an allowance that she goes through in a week, and then she goes to the credit cards. But Fumi, come here, baby, come here. Didn't you say you made 6 figures on your content creation? Didn't you say that? And you said that money is for your clothes and your bags and stuff. So what he giving you allowance for? He giving you allowance on top of your content creation? Okay. Is that what it is? You said you don't pay no bills in the house, and that's fine. If you got a soft life, you got a soft life. I ain't mad at it, okay? Content creation is hard, though. It is hard. It's a lot of work. Okay. But if you got a soft life, girl, you got a soft life. But I don't think I think you know more than you say you know. I think you lying like a rug, okay? Okay. I think you lying like a rug, okay? So I'm just saying, okay? Anyway, where we going? Stormy and Courtney were college sweethearts. Stormy, what's that boy name? Courtney played basketball overseas. And then, she started Canva, and he helped her start Canva. I'm quite sure he put some money in there because he was making some money overseas. So he probably put, added some money to her Canva to get it started. And that's the reason why they are partners in Canva, okay? Because Stormy, runs it, but he does a lot of the work because he had to go up to Chicago and retrieve them books from for Lala and stuff like that. So, Courtney does a lot of work. He just behind the scenes, that's all. Kayla's ex-husband, the pedophile. He met her at 17. And he groomed her, and they got married at 18, okay? And then they had a child, okay? She got pregnant, and now they got 4 kids, and she felt like she's been robbed of her youth. She said childhood, but that ain't no childhood. Youth is more, because childhood, you was 17, so it really wasn't your childhood anymore. It was more your youth. So yeah, you were robbed of your youth, of your 20s, when you can just dip it and do it, and you can do whatever you want to do. Go to college, do your thing. So, but she was married with children. So this is what you do, Kayla. Come here, baby girl. Once you get your badass kids out of the house, because your kids is bad as fuck. At least that oldest boy is bad, okay? Talking about get off my meat and shit. And you laughing at that shit. The fuck is that? Anyway, they ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Listen, okay? When you get them badass kids out your house, do you in your 40s and 50s, baby, okay? And if you want to get with Jason, he gonna be real old when you do. He gonna be real old. He gonna be in his 60s when you doing it. But if he can hang, he can hang, okay? He can hang. But you better do your stuff in your 40s and 50s, girl. Do you. Fuck them kids. Do you. Okay? All right. Listen to me, Kayla. All right, Tiffany's husband got an appointment to have a vasectomy. That's the reason why she ain't gonna have no more kids, because he chose her. God told him to choose her. And so he chose her, but she emotional about not having no more kids. Not having no more kids. Okay, no more kids. No more kids. Okay. Oh well, moving on. Kayla and Amber has issues. Kayla said she didn't even know she had issues. Well, hold on. Kayla didn't know that Amber had issues with her until they start filming. Okay? She said, I ain't even know that Amber had issues with me. I ain't even know. Okay? So Amber denies that, that I guess that she knew that they had issues. Oh, I got a little more light. That she knew they had issues. Oh, I'm real light skin. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm having a good time tonight, okay? Alright, so Kayla also made a comment on her post about Kaylin doing lines, and stuff like that. And then she gonna say who's gonna what she say who gonna fight my ops in the comments, okay? So a lot of people was upset with that, that was inappropriate, Kayla. That was inappropriate. Fumi said that could be misconstrued and everything like that. So Carlos asked Stormy, right? So Stormy said, well, we on TV and a lot of people can come for us because they don't like us. And Tiff said, well, she danced around that answer. Tiffany, guess what? You right on that. You are so right on that. She danced around that answer. Oh shit. She danced around that answer. I'm not mad at it. So Amber said, well, he asked you a specific question. Stormy said, and I gave a specific answer too. Shit. She didn't say shit, but so then Carlos said, well, Amber, do you think she answered the question? Amber said, no. Hell no. Here we go. Hell no. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so then Tiff said Kayla was one of Stormy's minions, and she put a battery in Kayla's back, and she sent her out on a mission. So Stormy was like, just call me Duracell and stuff, and she said, how I'm gonna send her off on a mission when you invited her to lunch? Good question, Stormy. Good question. I agree with that too. Okay, you asked her to lunch, so how am I? How am I? How is she my minion? And so, then Tiffany's like, do you want to answer? And this what Stormy said. Nope, fuck you. Sorry. No, fuck you. What kind of Stormy? Stop it, Stormy. Stop it. Okay. Whoo. Kayla was like, well, I heard about the mop. She said, what she say? It's breaking news. I heard about the mop situation. She said, but I just wanted to get your side. When she was talking to Tiffany, I just wanted to get your side about it. And Tiffany was like, "Well, I respect you for being honest." Listen, Tiffany, you respect everybody for being honest except for Stormy. Okay, you got something against Stormy, and you know it, Okay, you got something against Stormy. Stormy and Tiff arguing about this mop at the Civil Rights Museum. Stormy said, I asked her what Sonetta said. Tiffany said, I apologize for offending you. Okay. But Stormy didn't pay attention to this to her, because all of her focus was on the live that I guess was happening either a day or two later. She really went. I don't even know why they even everybody kind of canceled on the Civil Rights Museum except for Stormy and Tiffany. But like I said, Stormy didn't even, all her focus was on the live. Okay, that's what she said. All her focus was on the live, and not Tiffany. Tiffany said, "You are always circling back to money, and who are you beyond the money?" And so Stormy said, "Well, why are you bringing up money?" I didn't bring up money. I was staying alive. I wanted to bring up money. And so she said, it's looking like you jealous. And it does look like you jealous, Tiffany. Okay, it does look like you jealous because you accept everybody else's stuff except for Stormy. Okay, Tiffany said, I'm not jealous. It's given that you are pressed about a mop. And so Stormy said it was given that the shit wasn't funny. Okay, that's what it was given. Okay. Stormy was cussing up some shit too. So Tiffany said your hair look like a mop. I'm gonna let you know this right now. Okay. Right now.
Shut up, bitch.
Okay. Your hair look like a mop, Tiffany. Okay? Your hair look like a mop. Stormy's hair did not look like a mop. It was beautiful. Looked like Oprah's hair. Okay? Your hair look like a mop. Okay? I'm going to give you that now. I'm going to tell you that now. So Fumi was like, you are a woman of God, right? Yeah, that's a good question. Are you a woman of God? Are you a woman of God? Okay. Because she said, stop with the insults. Stormy said, I upset your spirit because you are jealous of me. You can't be me, ho. You can't be me, ho. Okay. Oh my God. Oh God. She said, and you wouldn't remember if it was aisle 4 or aisle 7 if you weren't trying to be disrespectful. I agree with that, Stormy. I totally agree with that. Stormy said, God has blessed me with a lot. I take care of a lot of people. God loves me. I don't know about you. Let me give you some heavenly music on that too. Hold on. God loves me. Okay. So they bring out the mop. Okay, moving on. They go to Stormy. They go to talking about Stormy's dinner at her house. They talk about Stormy getting Tiffany getting kicked out of Stormy's house. They ask Amber And so Amber said, well, if she felt like she was disrespected in her home, she should have kicked her out. But if Tiffany shouldn't laugh about her claustrophobia, and Stormy shouldn't be calling her out her name, you know, when she called her bitches and hoes. Okay, so, but if she felt disrespected in her house, she should have kicked her out. That's how Amber feels. Stormy, Fumi was offended when she was on the phone with her husband when she got kicked out, and she was on the phone with her husband on the way back to Birmingham, and she said that she don't need Stormy like the other girls, and Tiff said, yeah, they need Stormy to stay on the show. And Amber was like, the show was centered around Stormy, but we don't need Stormy to remain on the show. You are right. You are right, Amber. You don't need Stormy to stay on the show. Okay? So that's the bottom line on that. The Last Supper, Fumi said she had an issue with washing the feet, but then she said in the confessional, she wasn't, down with washing feet and stuff like that. And so Tiffany was like, you are fake. That's all I can think of.
Jones barbecue foot massage. Jones barbecue foot massage.
When they was talking about washing feet, that's all I thought about. Jones barbecue and foot massage. Jones, let me get it. Let me put that again.
Jones barbecue foot massage. Jones barbecue foot massage.
I know, that's right. Anyway, Tiffany said you fake, and because you ain't say that in the moment. Fumi said I call Stormy later, so we good with that. We good with that. Stormy and Amber were estranged during this whole process, but they came back together and they hugged, and that was it. Okay. So that was the end of the reunion. I had a good time with that reunion. So let's discuss this in the comments. Okay, so give me a thumbs up, like and share and comment and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next on the next video. Peace, y'all.